My father was born in the city of Wuhan, and some of my relatives live there as well. Some also live overseas. Luckily, we can still connect with each other through a shared WeChat group called Happy Family, where we catch up, post funny videos, and gossip occasionally. But 2020 turned out to be a year unlike any other. In mid-January, we were all excited about the Chinese New Year, which is about to fall about 10 days later. Some are planning to travel to warm Hainan, some are going to make special big Spring Festival purchases, and others are going to visit their distant relatives. None of us fully realized what lay in wait. Then, on January the 23rd, news of a mysterious illness broke out, a virus we now call COVID-19. This virus is highly infectious, making people extremely sick and sometimes even killing them. At that moment, it was as if Wuhan pushed a giant stop button and everything was put into lockdown. Naturally, in the Happy Family WeChat group, messages of anxiety and panic quickly popped up. Do you have no face masks? Are we getting half enough medical test kits? Oh my God, I heard my neighbor just got the virus. Spring Festival is supposed to be a time to sending out red envelopes, but we began to send worry envelopes every day. Our WeChat group was bombarded with climbing figures of confirmed coronavirus cases and even deaths. Reports on social media were not helping any matters. Chaos is only causing more confusion. Then a message from our team popped up, telling us her neighbor had just died of the virus. He was only 48 years old and had been quite healthy. How can someone like that just die? We were agitated and frightened. Then there was dead silence. Nobody would say anything. Wuhan became a ghost town, and Happy Family became a ghost group. A few days later, a piece of news regarding my Auntie Peng broke the general silence of the group. She is a service worker and had been serving the community with sanitation inspections since the dawn of the outbreak. She put on a protective suit, wore her face mask, and patrolled communities to keep track of residents' health and to inform local citizens to quarantine themselves. She went out early and came back late. She did not even have time to look after her 2-year-old child. She stated in her WeChat moments, I wish I can be Dora Aimon, so I can have my own pharmacy to care for the sick and a supermarket to gather supplies. Honestly, she was our entire inspiration, of course, but her husband, Uncle Hao, was extremely worried about her safety. And yet, 3 days later, he was actually inspired to become her helping hand. Officially, he became the first volunteer of our family. He sent the sick to hospitals, gave people food and water, and helped out in many other ways. Not long after that, Auntie Ying's father also joined in. He went from house to house, helping check citizens' temperatures and make sure infected people can get cured in time. My family did not just stop there. Many relatives were very eager to help out and relieve the burden. Uncle Dong is the head chef of the family-owned restaurant. He noticed that doctors and nurses from the front lines were extremely anxious to get food. Henceforth, he signed up for a voluntary program where he would make meals for medical staff members. He made scrambled egg with tomato, wuchang fish, and other steamed dishes which would be packaged and sent to hospitals nearby. This is meant as an appreciation and a boost of morale for medical workers on the front lines of the COVID-19 pandemic. Uncle Dong said, they were risking their own lives to save ours. I can never express my gratitude. I don't have much to offer, but this is the least I can do. I hope they enjoy the authentic local cuisine. Soon, 2 new emergency hospitals and numerous quarantine centers were built in the city of Wuhan. Thanks to the relentless effort of medical workers and volunteers, patients were given the care that nursed many of them back to health and saved countless lives. The situation started to turn around, and we began to see a light at the end of the tunnel. But it was really 1 month later when our Happy Family WeChat group started to sense any real relief. Some relatives resumed their daily activities and posted pictures of hot dry noodles they made at home. Others made talks about how ordinary people can battle against coronavirus, and some posted their public square dance videos. Not so much. Technically, it was the living room square dance. Up till now, my family has had 7 volunteers, and my family is only one of hundreds of thousands of families in Wuhan doing their own bits to pull the city together. If you think about it, my family has been in lockdown for 76 days. That's more than 1,800 hours of torturous isolation. Hundreds of thousands of millions of people in China had to cope with the severe measures taken to tame this virus. But it is our fellow citizens in Wuhan that sacrificed the most to save us from the worst. When we look at these stats, they're not just dead figures. They signify our feelings, ups and downs. They represent countless families torn apart and heartbroken stories. But they also symbolize the strength of unity. Without Wuhan's sacrifice from joint efforts from people from all walks of life, we wouldn't have we achieved so far. Now, coronavirus has developed from an epidemic to a full-scale global major pandemic, and it is still far from being beaten. And we begin to think about those in other countries in their struggle. Even in China, coronavirus still remains undefeated, but I'm sure the end is approaching. By then, I hope everybody will be able to come to Wuhan to enjoy delicious hot dry noodles, climb the famed Yoclane Tower, and post funny selfies with your family. I firmly believe Wuhan will come out of its shock and everything will be back to normal.